All right, fellow ninjas, Thomas Tapp here, coming at you from Camp Woodward West, the famous area. If you see behind me, this is an amazing park. And at the end of this video, I'm going to show you how you can come and check out this park and play around and get some action going on here. But today, we're going to be learning how to do the dive roll. This is a great move to learn to go over obstacles, to go through obstacles, and efficiently go through your environment. So we're going to show you the technique, the progressions to get this move down. So we're going to head over to the gym, and then we're going to get started. First things first is we're not going to be performing a typical gymnastics dive roll, so you're not going to be going over the spine here. So we're not doing this. We're doing a shoulder roll here. So we're going diagonally across from our shoulder to our hip here. So what this does is allow us to roll on harder surfaces like concrete without going over our spine and causing any damage. So in parkour, that's what we're going to be doing, is performing the shoulder roll. So I'll show you real quick what it looks like. Going over the shoulder. And a prerequisite for your dive roll is learning your parkour roll. So if you don't have your parkour roll down, you can't do your parkour roll nice and smooth. Get that down first before learning your dive roll, because the dive roll is just basically that technique, but adding more jump, more difficulty, and performing the dive motion. All right, let's break down this technique. Step number one is the run up and the jump. So with your dive roll, a lot of people like to punch into it. That's okay for softer surfaces or in certain situations, but we really want to master the gather step. And that's going to allow us to go into the dive roll without as much impact on our ankles. So the gather step looks more like this, goes 1 and 2, okay? This will, again, make it where we don't put as much impact on our joints. And for harder surfaces in parkour, this is very important. So we perform the gather step. Next step is with the arms. Just like if you watched our front flip tutorial, you're going to be having the arms up here and throwing into a hollow position, okay? This is what's going to direct the jump and go into the dive here. So key thing to think about here, and a lot of people mess up on this, is you want to hit this hollow position, okay? You want your body to be nice and rigid. You want your core to be tight. You want your butt to be tight when you go into this, okay? Because this is what's going to allow you to have that nice, good dive, nice controlled dive, and allow you to go into the roll afterwards very nicely, okay? So we've thrown the arms, we've hit that hollow position. Then we're going to perform the heel drive. That's step 3. Drive our heels up, so our legs are going to be close and tight together. Our heels are going to drive up to allow our body to go into this angle here. And then that's when we move on to step 4, and that is absorbing with the hands. So there's different things we can do with our hands here. You can go into a diamond position here. So from here, you can absorb, and since we're going to the shoulder roll, the arms are going to be slightly to the side or to the shoulder that you like to roll towards, okay? Going here. All right, so that's one. You can go with the diamond. Another one people use is the hand in a fist here. So this one is in a fist, so that way they can go into that shoulder very efficiently. And then another one I've seen is where people will pretty much have just their hand in a blade and go through like this. Me personally, I have the one hand flat, one hand in a blade here, so I can go nice and smooth into that roll. Because really, we want to have this arm as smooth as possible, so that way we can go into it nice and controlled. Once we absorb down, we're going to make sure, and this is very important, that the first point of contact with your shoulders is the meaty part of your shoulder here, so the upper back. It's very important we hit here, and we can do this by making sure to tuck in our chin and look underneath our armpit here, okay? That's going to allow us to easily place onto the meaty part of our shoulder here. Then from here, we're still holding that hollow position throughout this whole entire time. And then once we start to roll onto the shoulder here, that's when we tuck our legs toward our body, so that way we round our back and we're able to land back on our feet nice and smooth. Because a lot of people make the mistake of not performing a nice tuck or rounding their back there, and what it does is they slam onto the ground like that, or they open up too early. So you want to make sure to tuck the legs in, so that way you can easily pop back up, nice, smooth, and controlled roll. So we've learned the technique. Now it's time to gradually progress into our dive rolls, because at first it might be a little tricky just to go for it. So what we can do is start off with the parkour roll, nice and low. Once we have that comfortable, all we have to do is start adding more height or more distance with our dive, or start diving into that parkour roll and slowly ramp it up, adding more speed, adding more height. So what you can do is, even starting from a low position, dive out just a little bit. Try to get the hands a little bit further out, really stretch that body out, and focus on getting into that hollow position and going over that technique that we talked about. And then we just progressively ramp it up even more and more and more. So diving more out. Then as we get comfortable with that, we can start from a standing position, really working on that technique of throwing the arms. Now I just want to throw this exercise in there as well, because I hear a lot of people email me, and they have trouble with, at the end of their dive roll, as they're absorbing, their body just collapses, or it doesn't feel smooth. They hit really hard. So for example, they do their dive roll and it's just clunky here. They just don't feel really smooth. And a lot of this is due to a few things: core strength, technique, and we can improve on this by just performing candlesticks. So you're going up, you're swinging back, hitting that hollow position here, and work on holding that hollow position and rolling up into a standing position. So here, and work on that motion right here, going from the hollow position into the tuck and then safely stepping out. All right, so that's the dive roll, that's the progression, the exercises. Now, if you want to go ninja style with it, you want to perform the 360 dive roll. This is a level higher up, and we have our buddy Epic, who, you see that? That's a 360 dive roll, going full ninja style with it. So we have Epic here with us, joining us on the channel.
Thanks for the shout out, guys.
Definitely.
Yeah, I have the 360 dive roll on my channel as well, on top of 100+ other tutorials. You can check me out, link should be in the description. And it's been a blast to be with these guys.
Definitely, man.
We've been since the Art of Motion 2010.
Yeah, that's another thing I want to mention. He's been a professional for a while. We met about, was it 5 or 6 years ago? Something like that?
Too long to count.
Yeah, he did really well in the competition, got 3rd place, I believe, in the Red Bull.
Highest scoring American.
Very talented athlete. So yeah, check out his channel, amazing tutorials, great videos, and train safe. Make sure to subscribe to the channel as well, and I'll see you in the next video. And I almost forgot, how do you get to check this place out? How do you get to play in this amazing playground here? They got skate parks, they got gymnastics facilities. It's basically like a huge Tony Hawk video game. So how do you get to check this out? Well, click the link down in the description. This is Camp Woodward West. They have parkour classes, parkour camps. They also have skateboarding and other things like this, extreme sports. Pretty much everything you would dream about, they have here. It's pretty awesome. So you can click the link down in the description for that. Also want to give a shout out to Whistle Sports for bringing us out here. Can't thank you enough for that. So train safe. See you in the next video.